Hi guys, Simon from MaxTune. So we're doing these videos of they're not tutorials, but they're just trying to help you guys out. Starting off in the tuning industry, if you're already in the tuning industry, hopefully there'll be some advice there for you as well. So diagnostics. Why is it so important, and why do we mention it all the time? Well, mostly it's going to save you a world of headache. Because if you know from the offset what's happening, it's rectifiable. If you're guessing, it makes things very difficult and it can make you look very silly. So, diagnostics. Well, even the big dealerships don't always know what they're doing, and don't always do what they're supposed to do or know what they're supposed to do. There's only a certain amount a computer can tell you what to do without you knowing, going, just because it says that doesn't necessarily mean to say it is that. All right, so when you go into tune a vehicle, absolute first and foremost is drive the damn thing. Drive it. Find out what it feels like. If you've driven plenty of cars in the past, or if you own a mechanic's auto shop repair, whatever, already, you are going to have been driving vehicles. Now, I used to be able to get in a car. Well, I still can. You can get in a car and you can go, oh yeah, that feels tight. It feels nice. That's a nice feeling car. But a lot of the time, you can get in it and go, what's that? A slight hesitation, a slight miss. It doesn't pick up as much as it should. Excuse me. Roll the window down when you're driving it. Listen to hear the engine outside as well. You can hear, but you can sometimes hear boost leaks outside. You can also hear exhaust leaks. You can hear clunking, banging, knocking. And the last thing you want to do is take a tuned vehicle that's going to 100 brake horsepower down the road with a knocking ball joint and it falls out and the wheel comes off. That is not what you want. So first of all, before you do anything, before you even get a tool out of the van, is go, right, I'm going to take the car for a drive. Also, this one's difficult because obviously there are laws in the countries, but you want to try and get it up to at least the speed limit, and you don't really want to be shy about getting it up to the speed limit. If there's an opportunity to get it up to the speed limit, take it round to the red line in the RPM range, because most people don't ever take it round to the red line. And if it's going to brake on you round on the red line at stock, what's it going to do when it's tuned? Guaranteed something mechanical will fail because it's already failed at stock. So take it round to the red line, in as many gears as you possibly can. The more load you can put on the engine, the more you are testing the integrity of that engine and the other parts around it. So you can be confident when you go to tune it, you come back from the test drive, nothing's changed, car drives mega, feels great all the way around the rev band, all the way up to the red line. It feels mega. You can be confident that before you start, you go, right, okay, we're starting with a tidy car. If it doesn't do that and something really doesn't feel right, people genuinely appreciate you going, right, I've just driven the car and there's a knock here and there's a knock there and there's a little bit of a hesitation in the power band. I am a bit hesitant to tune the vehicle. Honestly, not taking someone's money can be just as profitable as taking someone's money, because you are building trust and you're just being honest. And people appreciate honesty in a world where people are out to pull your pants down at any minute, any time of the day. Being honest will stand you apart from everybody else. So if you do go back and you find something, I'm not so keen on that, that's really not something, then you can start doing a bit of investigation. And this is when you pull out your diagnostics machine. Plug the diagnostics machine in, do a full scan of everything. Now, this is mostly to find out everything you possibly can, but also to cover your back, purely because people can be a pain in the backside. So there are loads of tuning companies out there that do not do diagnostics before and after. And honestly, they're shooting themselves in the foot and they're not helping the customer out at all. Because you will go and tune a car, you'll go away, next day, customer ring up and go, oh, airbag light's on, that wasn't on before. What? But if you have got a full printout of all the codes that were on the car, and there's a code in there, restraint module, faulty to earth, something like that, right? And you can go, right, well, I've got the full printout that we did yesterday, which I have already given you anyway. Idea, give them the printout or send them an email. No, most diagnostics machines will make a PDF that you can send to them, you can email to them. We always used to, excuse me, because it will make our life a billion times easier. And you can send them the PDF, and if you haven't already, and you can say on there, look, there is your airbag code that was already there. That's prior to us touching it. There's the time, there's the date. You can see that it was prior to us touching it. This saves you a whirlwind of headache. Now, if you didn't have that, you can say, oh, well, it wasn't there before. It was there before we touched it, and the customer doesn't know that. There's no proof that that was the case. And obviously, everybody thinks that everybody's out to get them. And they will try and get their money back, and they will try and make your life hard. Not everybody, because there are some wonderful customers out there. But if you do your job properly, you won't have an aggravation. So, also, the diagnostic machine comes out, so take a full read of everything to cover your back and to find out exactly what's going on. Now, if there are codes in there, and they're stored codes, and they are current codes, then these are the things to start looking at. See, sometimes, you can get camshaft sensor A on, say, a nice big Mercedes, camshaft sensor A, timing alignment, something like that. And what you'll go, oh, well, it's a camshaft sensor. Not necessarily. It could actually be a stretched chain. On the big AMGs, the earlier AMGs, they like to stretch chain. And if the chain stretches, that top cam is not going to be turning and not going to be in exactly the right position that the camshaft sensor and the ECU are expecting it to be in. Therefore, it throws a fault code. Also, the timing would be slightly out, so it'd be down on power. It won't feel great. But all these sorts of things you wouldn't know about unless you did diagnostics on the car first. Now, the car might drive okay. You might not necessarily notice it because you might not have driven 75 AMGs and you don't know what they should feel like. Whereas the diagnostics machine will give you that, and you're like, right, okay, probably now is the time to stop. So, because if we're going to tune it, we're probably going to make this issue that already exists, that you didn't necessarily know about, worse. And that's the last thing you want to do. You don't want to make anything worse for somebody, because they will go, well, that's your fault. Well, it's not, but it will be very, very hard to prove otherwise or to convince anybody otherwise. At the end of the day, you want to be as clear and as transparent with everything as much as possible. And I'll guarantee you people will appreciate that a lot. Even if it's something like a slightly overboost issue, something that can be genuinely rectified, with a bit of cleaning around the variable vanes, a new N75 valve that's like 15 quid. You might have a small vacuum leak. You might have a pipe that's not, the Jubilee clip's just slightly worn a little bit. It's not holding it clamped on. There might be a little seal. All these things are really, really small stuff. But you wouldn't have known about it had you not done the diagnostics in the first place. And now you can fix it for minimal amount of money, and then tune the car, and then it's mega. So always, always, always drive the car, do diagnostics first. If there's no issues, or you can't see any fault codes, or there's nothing there, or there was stuff that was pending before, stored, and it was, previous codes, just have a chat with the customer and go, look, we've seen these codes on here. Do you know what happened? Oh, well, yeah, no, last year this happened. And it might be that the other garage or the other place that they've been to has not actually deleted the codes off. We see that an awful lot. They don't actually bother to delete the codes once they've fixed something, or they think they've fixed something. Or it could be, I don't know, I've only had the car 3 weeks. I mean, it could be another case of another mechanic from the previous owner's done the same. So you have to bite the bullet and go, right, okay, well, just to make you aware, these were here. It doesn't look like they're current, but these were here. And I don't know, because we don't know the history of the car. I'm sure it will be fine, but I want to make you aware. And therefore the customer, so when something does happen, for example, say that code is something that hasn't been fixed previously, and then you tune it and it ends up being a problem, you can say, right, okay, I did say that, I don't know, nobody knows the history of the car, that was the code, this is definitely coming up now, this is definitely an issue, might be a spark plug, might be a coil pack, might be a misfire, who knows, but, excuse me, the fact that you've been upfront, honest, and you can show everything in the first place makes your job easier, makes life easier, and especially, if you're a slave of ours and you ring something and go, we will always say, where's the diagnostics report? And the reason being, because it's very easy to blame your master, for example, for where the file came from. Now, without knowing any other information about the car, We know that what we will provide you will be the best that's possible, and if we're unsure of anything, we'll call you and let you know. But if we're confident that the software provided is okay, no matter what happens, we will always ask you for a diagnostics report. And that's because then we can see what's happening and we can go, right, okay, it's actually, you need to check this, this and this. So if you're not au fait with diagnostics, you're not all the way up with it, and the latest modern stuff, it's okay. We can help and we will always help. But if you don't have that report in the first place, it's very, very hard. You're just guessing. Is it the tune? Is it the car? Was it the car before? Was it the tune that's made it worse? Is it the tune itself? I mean, you just don't know. So that's why if you have the report in the first place, you've got a base to work from, and then we know what's happening. Are we making something worse that was already there but underlying, or is this a new issue that's arisen because obviously you're going to be pushing an engine slightly harder than it would have done previously, and then you have different. So it has a certain amount of tolerance. Every ECU and engine has a certain amount of tolerance before it throws a code up. If you're narrowing that sort of amount of tolerance, then it's more likely to throw a code if it's going to. So yeah, you've done the diag, and actually it's all fine. We've tuned the car, it's all fine. You've driven it down the road, it's absolutely fine, and customers over the moon. But you have got a record, because I guarantee you, at some point, a customer's in 3 months' time going to ring you up and go, "Oh, ever since you've remapped my car, this has happened. Ever since I've remapped your car. So why is it taking you 3 months to ring me for a start?" B, we've got the diagnostics report of what we did before and what was after. And at the point that we left your vehicle, it was perfectly okay. There's this, because people think that once you've tuned a car, that's it. The car doesn't need maintenance anymore, doesn't need to be looked after. Spark plugs cannot fail. A coil pack cannot go wrong. Nothing in the car can go wrong. It's because you've remapped the car. All you're doing is you're covering yourself and you're enabling us to be able to help you as much as possible. So if you do have a customer, this is what I said in another video, we'll always try and help you, even with the customer stuff. If a customer rings you up 3 months later and says, "Oh, ever since you've remapped my car, I don't know, it's got a misfire." And you go, "Right, okay, well, what was the diagnostics report before and afterwards?" Chuck that to us and you go, "Nothing. What's the diagnostic report now?" So if the customer just says it's misfiring, you go, "Right, okay, well, do you want me to come out and I'll have a look with the diagnostics machine, or can you go somewhere else and can you get that if that's what you want to do?" And if the report comes through misfire on cylinder 1, just move the spark plugs around from one to the other, and now the misfires on cylinders 2, but it's a spark plug, isn't it? A remap doesn't kill spark plugs unless it's really, really bad and you're burning them out. But that would have happened long before 3 months. And it would have happened on all 4 cylinders, not just one. So, you can cover your back. And also customers, when they don't understand, when people don't understand what's going on, and nor should you have to understand, at the end of the day, you're a customer who's bought a car and they want it to go faster. Why would you have to understand the intricacies of how the engine works? That's your job and that's our job. Whereas if you can explain things and you can show things logically, like diagnostics reports before and after, we can even show logs and things of what's happening to the car, and you can move things around and you can show customers everything that you're trying to do, then that will hold you in good stead. And most really don't mind afterwards. They go, "Oh, right, okay, it's that." Because the moment they change a spark plug, you change all 4 really if one's gone down. But let's change the spark plug and all of a sudden the car's back. Okay, "Oh, yeah, no, great, yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, excellent, thank you." Remap, was it? Anyway, but we're trying to help you, and you need to help yourself by performing diagnostics and understanding the fundamentals of how an engine works as well. As I say, as our slave, as an authorised dealer, we will always be there to try and help you as much as possible. A lot of our dealers are already in the trade anyway, so it makes things easy. But still, we'll get a phone call and go, "Look, we've had this customer and he said he's doing this, this and this. Right, okay, what's the diagnostics report?" And we can look and we can go, "Right, okay, it's probably a stretched timing chain. Pull the cover off and have a look." Oh, lo and behold, and it is. So diagnostics. This is something that's not normally talked about when people are trying to sell you stuff to do with tuning. Excuse me. Or if you're thinking of becoming an authorised dealer of AN tuning company, people don't normally talk about diagnostics, and that is sometimes they don't know, sometimes they don't care. Sometimes they're not interested. They just want to bang out some files to somebody that smashes them on the car, and then that person just goes and takes their customer's money and never sees them again. If that's what you want to do, that's not what we want to do, and we won't be like that. But there are people out there, as in with every industry, there's always somebody that's after a quick buck and doesn't care. That's not us. We are not after a quick buck. We want to build relationships, be with people, stay with them, help them as much as we physically can. And your customers, because they will change their car every 2-3 years. Now, you get 1,000 customers that changes their car every 2-3 years. That's a lot of tuning. That's a lot of remaps, especially if they come back to you, because normally once they've done one on one of their cars, the next car they get, they go, oh, this is a bit slow, isn't it? Oh, I need this remapped. And they'll pick up the phone to you because you did a really good job before, because they've built trust with you and they've built confidence that you know what you're doing. Now, whether you do know what you're doing and you're using our information that we've given you, we don't care. We'd rather you do that. We would rather you be able to go to your customer with full, frank, open, honest advice and information than going, oh, well, no, it can't be that, and just going, whoa. That don't help anybody. So diagnostics is the key to getting tuning right from the offset. And when you do start tuning, having a diagnostics tool, I would say, is essential, really. If you can get hold of one, there's lots of second-hand ones. There's loads of stuff floating about. If you need some advice or you need some help choosing one, if you want to become our dealer, let us know. So, yeah, and that is why diagnostics is so important. Covering your back, informing the customer, treating their stuff with respect, and you building a good relationship and confidence with your customers. So, yeah, Max Tune guys, we're here for you.